Let's talk about the product your branch teams secretly despise selling the most, bancassurance. Bankers typically don't like to sell insurance. They feel like they are old car salesmen. They feel like pushy. They feel they are stepping out of their role as a trusted financial advisor to a door-to-door peddler. We have to reframe this immediately. Welcome to the Revenue Systems channel. I'm Dr. Kithsiri, Banking, Revenue and Leadership Systems Architect. Today we are fixing the fundamental missteps that cause your bancassurance penetration stagnated. According to my own experience, the reality is actually they don't hate the product. They hate the process and how they have been trained to sell that product. Typically we force them to pitch product rather than architecting solutions. When a branch manager brings the insurance at the end of the transaction, it feels like an awkward tracked-on afterthought. It feels extractive. This happens because they are fundamentally misaligned with the psychology of the customer sitting across the desk. To solve this, we have to look at the psychology of pitch. What exactly are your teams selling? Oftentimes they pitch death benefits, severe illness cover, or the worst case scenarios. Here's the psychological truth. Nobody wants to buy the death. When your teams pitch disaster, it triggers the psychology of avoidance. We can understand this through the lens of prospect theory and loss aversion. This has been developed by Nobel Laureates. Also, we have to look at the risk perception done by Paul Slovic. Now, Slovic's research proves that human beings are notorious about evaluating the long-term risk. For example, terminal illness decade from now. However, prospect theory and loss aversion developed by these gentlemen, they mentioned humans are protective about the assets they already have. Now, when your staff highlight the protection gap, for example, statistical likelihood of happening a disaster, catastrophe, the customer's brain automatically shut down because he wants to avoid the stress. But if you shift your focus towards protecting their current tangible wealth, you engage their natural instinct for loss aversion. Your teams are failing because they are selling the disaster, not the shield. So how can we guide your teams to overcome this trap? We have to change the vocabulary. We change selling insurance policy to asset protection. We must give them a systematic crafted script which is aligning with their bank identity. Now let's compare these two approaches. Mr. Customer, since you have opened a fixed deposit with us, would you also be interested to open an insurance policy for your family if something goes wrong with you or if something happens for you? This is awkward and easily rejected. Now look at this approach. Mr. Customer, you have incredibly worked hard to build 5 million savings. As a banker, my primary job is to ring fence this wealth. We need to ensure that any sudden or unforeseen circumstances forces you to drain this money. Therefore, let's set up a protection plan to shield this asset. Now you'd see the difference. The word insurance isn't even the focal point. The focus is in ring fencing and shielding the wealth. It positions your manager not as a typical salesperson, but as a custodian who take care of the customer's hard-earned money. Therefore, to link bancassurance to core banking function, as a leader, you must guide this operational shift. Ban the terms like pitching insurance, selling death covers from your internal communication. Replace them with these phrases: asset protection, wealth shielding. When you change the language, it helps you to change the mindset. Don't let your teams to ad-lib this conversation. Provide them with exact asset protection phrases. Mandate every large deposit or loan includes the conversation about ring fencing. Ring fencing that is specific financial milestone. Stop tracking the policy sold isolation. Start measuring the protection ratio, the percentage of total loans or total deposits which are actively ring fenced by those protection plan. This is the hard reality. If your frontline people feel like they're car salesmen, it's because your system forces them to act like that. You have to guide them back to their true role. They aren't selling insurance. They are protecting their clients' wealth. When your teams realize protecting the customer's wealth is a service, their reluctance will vanish. If you want more support on this regard, please read our branch transformation system. We provide psychologically backed training architecture to transform your branches. Stop pitching the product. Start protecting the assets of the customer. I'll see you soon in the next video.